And welcome to another exciting episode of Super Desperation Radio. I Play Winners, #1 podcast, and your last hollow bastion for FGC somewhat well thought out discussion.
Rather than well thought out discussion, I just think that we actually think critically and are actually frank about how we feel about things, rather than trying to do any weird playing up. I mean, some of our opinions might be pretty radical or just insane.
Gnarly.
Whatever. Yeah, that's just us. Whatever.
Radical.
You don't have to listen. You don't have to believe everything we say. The advocation of being a stream maverick. Just think for yourself.
That was pretty well thought out.
I don't know about this whole. Are we really #1?
Yeah.
On I Play Winner, yeah.
Aren't we the longest running as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I mean, sure.
I mean, who's gonna take the #1 spot from us? The Fray?
What's happening with that?
When was the last time the Fray was on, actually? Yeah.
Last month.
Really?
I heard the host of the Fray now has a real job and therefore can no longer afford the time to do the show.
Huh.
Oh, good for him. I wish I was in that boat.
Yeah. I wish I had a real life so I could just ditch you losers and do something else. No, I'm just kidding.
You wish. Never gonna happen.
Even if you had a job, you'd be back.
Yeah, I probably would.
They always.
Guys, I'm just pretending to have really, really bad diarrhea, and I'm casting from the toilet at work.
Make it quick.
Actually, I just want to say. No, actually, that's what I'm doing right now. So, have a good show, guys.
Okay. Oh no, well, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. We are #1 on the network, and I really think we're really the only podcast that matters at this point. So, yeah.
All right.
You don't have to quote me on that, but it's just me saying it. It's me, Hell Pocket, saying dumb things as usual. Anyway, welcome to the show. We have a lot of things to maybe talk about today. I don't know.
Do we?
Do we? We did have a discussion.
I don't know that we have a lot of things to talk about. I think we got one big thing that I think is important to talk about.
That's always good. We can stretch that out for an hour.
But before we do that, I'd like to segue to Lord Walkman to talk a little bit about how they can get Super Desperation Radio and what they would like as they receive it.
Yeah, okay, so pretty much we have obviously the live cast on Twitch, and then we also have the YouTube, where you can go and watch it anytime you want. But obviously some people, they can't listen at the times, and sitting at your computer isn't always the greatest thing. But if you have a long train ride or whatever, we've been talking about putting out an MP3 version of the show. But the thing I'm wondering is that, do you guys really worry about file size when it comes to these kind of things? Because I know that they can get pretty lengthy, one a week. Right now, I have 2 versions of the show in MP3 format of last week's. I wanted to put it up sooner, but I wasn't too sure about it. One of them is a 64 kilobit per second cast. It's a bit lower quality, but it's still good. The only problem I have is that the Hell Pockets is the way his microphone picks up this voice. It sounds kind of odd. But everyone else sounds pretty fine. And it's a little bit quieter, but if listening through like a portable device, it shouldn't be any problem because you won't have any other background noises to disturb you. But there's also a higher quality one, but it's more than double the file size. That one's about maybe like 100 megabytes, a little bit less than that. While the lower quality is about 40 megabytes or so. And I just wanted to know, what you guys prefer. I mean, I guess I could technically put up both. I just got to find a place also to put them up. But just leave us a comment on YouTube and or send us something on Twitter about how you really want to, get your MP3 format, because I'd really like to know and see if people don't mind a larger file size, or if they want the choice between the two, or what. But just let us know.
So, in case people missed it last weekend, excuse me, Poverty Fest happened. And if people don't know what that is, here in Southern California, there are a couple guys, Sao Tome Caneda and Belriza, who every year have a house gathering with people they know or people their friends know. And they invite them all down to Southern California to play some of the worst, shittiest games that nobody else in America plays.
Hey,
Sounds
I
like my
wouldn't
house.
say that. I would just say some of those games are really good, but just people don't play them.
No,
I
they're
mean,
not.
some
They
of
all
them
have broken characters that nobody plays. Look,
But
I
here's
tried
a great
playing
thing.
Eternal Champions.
Oh man.
So
Well, look, they were playing
I don't
Eternal
think they're about
Champions.
this being good games. I also saw Brutal Paws of Fury. Okay, look.
So they
But-
were using Eternal. They were playing Eternal Champions, but I saw a bunch of people using Larson. Larson's the worst character in the game.
I couldn't even tell you that. I wouldn't know.
But I do.
I don't really know the
That's
meta
what
on
you're
Eternal
polluted.
Champions, so I can't comment. But
There's that word again.
Basically, the whole goal of Eternal Champions is don't lose with a fatality.
There you go. But the point I want to take away from this is if you watch Poverty Fest, what you probably noticed was a lot of people having fun. A lot of people who may not get to see each other all the time, just enjoying video games, just playing whatever because, hey, I want to play this game, or the stream wants to play this game, or this other guy wants to play this game, and everybody just sitting down and playing games. It wasn't about, oh, this game is the tournament standard right now. It was about, hey, people just want to play games and have fun. And I feel like what we kind of want to talk about today is why it feels like so many scenes have lost that. We've lost the sense of community where it doesn't matter what we're playing as long as everybody's actually having a good time.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, that reminds me of, like, you know, when me and Gibby were on GGPO playing Garo 98 and, Breakers. I will concede the fact that Gibby beat me in Breakers first to 10. I'm not going to lie about that. But I am going to bring up the fact that I beat him more in 98 than he did me, so fuck you, Gibby.
I'm not going to deny it.
But also, Garo, I got slammed into the ground really hard, so, you know, it's fine. But I'm learning. I'm getting there. Soon I'll be 1/10% of Gibby at that game. Almost there.
I mean, that's close, but not really.
it's still more than me.
But it's funny because I talk to a lot of people out here. When I lived in Missouri, we had a really small scene, and it was about not just playing what you wanted to play, but if you wanted more people to try to get into your game, you would play their game as well, in hopes that maybe if you could convince them while you're playing their, like I would play Tekken with people who played Tekken and try to convince them, hey, maybe you want to play Guilty Gear too, it's a good game. But out here, the scenes are so divided and people don't play anything else. They play one game, or maybe they sort of dabble in another game. But there really isn't that overall community feeling between games out here at all. You just have a few people who play this game, a few people who play this game, and it's like never the twain shall meet at all.
I mean, I can understand how that happens because there was, like, at least back in the day, like you said, there wasn't as much of a emphasis on one particular game. Like, you had a main game, but you never really called it your main game. You know, it was just like, oh, I'm just good at this and not so great at the other one. But I enjoy it. I think now a lot of people are a little more focused on maybe, I don't want to say starting a career in the game, but it seems like that seems to be more the focus. Like, they want to be known as a Marvel player or a KLF player, and like you said, they will never cross over because, well, for whatever reason. But
I'll be fucking associated with the likes of those people.
it happens like that, man. Like, as a Guilty Gear player, you used to get that shit back in the day with, like, oh, I can't associate with no freaking hug pillow having Guilty Gear player fucker.
One of those.
One of those guys.
Oh, man.
It's because we're black.
That's
Damn.
pretty much it.
At least back in the day, you weren't a Smash player. That was the
Oh,
least
man,
amount of
those guys.
respect I think garnered out of anyone. But that being said, they actually go out and support their game, so more power to them.
Yeah, who'd have thunk it? So you know that whole 10 more years thing? Well, they're going on like, what, 20 now?
It's like 15
Sorry,
at the
yeah.
moment.
Hey man, I'm rounding
It's-
up, dude. I'm not good at the maths.
Well, yeah. I mean, I gotta say, like, it's not my most favorite game. I used to just play it casually back in high school with other people. When I wanted to play other games and they wouldn't, I just stopped going to that club. And then,
Oh, you were a quitter.
yeah. I was like, well, this game's okay, but they weren't even playing it competitively, which is the silliest part. They're just like playing it.
Well, that's
So
not
that's why I had
silly
a pretty
either,
decent
man. If
scene.
they don't want to play competitive.
Well, no, I mean, no, that's what I mean. Just because the rival high school, Modesto High, across town. Some of the best players actually for like when we're coming out there in the area, like in Northern California.
Were you that dude that was
Devils.
like? Were you that dude like? Come
I think
on,
the
guys.
guy who said the whole wombo combo that ain't Falco's from Mohai. So yeah,
Damn.
yeah, it's one world, right?
Seriously.
But that's kind of a side thing.
Yeah.
And I think here's the thing that sort of bothers me now is that, okay, we all accepted that there's a lot of people who've gotten into fighting games now who want to see it as more of a career, or at least as a part-time job. You know, they want to be able to make money, they want to be successful, at least insofar as they can be successful at fighting games. And that's okay. I don't really have a problem with that, especially since I think people who want to win can drive the scene forward because they want to make money. They want to win at all costs. I think that can be good. I think the problem is that so many people have lost the ability to have fun with games outside of looking at it as competitive. Like, you can play Marvel competitive all day, but are you going to tell me you can't play X game on the side for fun? Is that just not even a possibility anymore?
Yeah. At the same time, I mean, I want to talk about how things, play competitively in tournaments. And tournaments are cool and like weeklies and all that. But I feel like with constant like Ranbats and weeklies, I actually get to play the game less because I got to wait for my next match,
Dude, it's all about that thing we mentioned before, like play dates. Like, it's so fucking structured, you actually don't get to play.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like, all right, guys, we put aside 10 minutes for tag, and then we're going to do 10 minutes for Duck Duck Goose, and then an instant 15 minutes for a nap. But then we're going back to Duck Duck Goose. Like, who the fuck has fun like that?
Like, when I went to the last Game Center event, like, it was cool, I played a lot of CVS2, I played some Third Strike, but honestly, because of the tournaments running so long, I actually didn't get to play nearly as much as I would like to. Place was crowded, though, there was a lot of people, so it's understandable, but it's just like, man, I wish I could just, hop on and get a couple of matches, jump off, and then get back on sometime later in the rotation, rather than having to wait for people to play said matches and just go on. I mean, CVS2 had like 30 people, so that took like legitimately 8 hours before it was over. But I mean, otherwise, yeah, I would like to get together and play. I mean, the whole idea of a free tournament's cool, and I really like to, test my mettle against the crowds, But I think there should also be time just for play. Like if weekly tournaments happen like bi-weekly, but on the other week people will just get together and grind out. That would be pretty cool, I don't know. I would like an environment suited for learning.
Well, and I think that's what people miss, is that when all you do is worry about playing the game that's like the most competitive, I think people don't necessarily get to learn as much about themselves as players or about playing the game. I think the more games you play, you actually learn more about people's habits, about the way you need to make decisions in fighting games. And I think people just shrug that off now, like it's not important. They're just like, I play Marvel 3, I'm going to learn everything in Marvel 3. And I can guarantee you, if you talk to anybody who's been playing fighting games for a long enough period of time, they'll tell you that's just not true. You pick up things with each game you play. You pick up things each time you step away from games for a little while and you come back. And you pick up things each different group you play with. Like, if you just play with your own small group because those are the people you know, you're going to miss out so much on things you could learn from other players just because you're like, oh, I play with these guys because I've known these guys, and we don't know anybody else, so we just play among ourselves. I know, coming from a small scene, there was a lot of things I missed out on. And I missed a lot of growth as a player for a long time because of that. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. They're just like, I can learn, I can learn everything fine, and it's not really true.
There's also a counterpoint to that, because some people will argue that if I do play another game while I'm so focused on another, it's just going to screw up what I really want to do. And, that's also a possibility. But, I don't think it should stop you. I think that's just something like, you have to learn how to compartmentalize what you've learned from different games and learn how to apply them.
Exactly. Because I mean,
It's
like, I'd
actually-
argue that. Oh, keep going.
Go ahead, Tony.
Oh, I was gonna say like playing other games. Like let's say you play whatever game now, like a competitive game. You know, you play Street Fighter or whatever. If you just play like King of Fighters 98 on the side and try to get kind of decent at it, your execution will go up like really. Because I mean, these fundamentals translate from game to game. Look at Justin Wong. Like he's a master of fundamentals. He can play a strong game, and because of that, he can do well with little practice, just because he has the basics down so well. It's just kind of like that. Even if you play other games, it's not going to hinder everything you're doing. I mean, on the other side, after playing a lot of Third Strike, I used to parry in games that were not even fighting games, but that's just another thing.
Yeah, that's actually kind of the point I was going to make. Initially, it might be kind of hard to learn multiple games, especially if you're relatively new, because your brain's kind of programmed to do a certain thing. And if you're playing ST, it's do these things, block these things, punish this way. But if you go to Third Strike, you're like, oh man, this whole world of parrying is now open. And maybe going back to ST, you're now suddenly walking in the jump-ins thinking, right, that's a bad idea here. Tapping forward doesn't get me shit.
Yeah.
But after a while, you kind of learn to fucking set your brain into pieces and know which one to access when you're doing certain things. So suddenly when going to ST, you're not trying to fucking parry jump-ins and be the boss when somebody throws a fireball at full screen. It just comes with time. But you definitely do learn different aspects of fighting games just by playing different fighting games. Like, they'll teach you different things. Like, Tekken's actually really good for teaching people spacing because movement's so important in that game. And, you have the KOF series if you want to learn, like, funky execution or really weird techniques. That's also possible. There's a lot of people that'll make the argument that Third Strike is probably one of the best games to teach you how to just get inside somebody's head and what to do once you're in there. Because so much of the game is just based on making reads and just forcing mistakes.
Oh yeah, I think there's definitely that. I think Third Strike is a really good game for teaching you how to read what the opponent's going to do, but I also think that Third Strike fails to teach people fundamentals appropriately in certain situations because you're so used to being able to have that situation where you go, I can look at this situation at a footsie position and go, I can do X and it will automatically beat Y. I think because parry just adds an extra level to the game that you're not going to necessarily have in other games.
Yeah, it's probably best to come up with some fundamental before you go to that game or go to games that teach you how to read opponents, because you might become someone that can only read. And you're surprised you're going to run into people that can't be read. Either they're genuinely random or just insanely reckless. And that's when good fundamentals will come into play, and you'll be able to beat those reckless fuckers by just playing smart.
Yeah.
No, the other issue here is though is like it's not going to be the same for everybody. Obviously, like the issue of time, as you brought it up earlier, is like it's going to be relative. Some people are going to be able to apply these skills in a matter of sometimes hours in the best situations, and some people don't get it for like at all. Sometimes, like they'll keep playing, but they just won't ever grasp what they've been working with. And I think that might discourage more people than than the former situation inspires them. I think because I think we've seen so many people that are able to play multiple games and be really good at them, but they never inspire anybody really. They're more or less just like, wow, that guy's so great. He plays like he places top 3 and everything. We see Tokido go to a tournament and not get anything below top 3. In any game he enters, and we're just like, man, why don't I should be able to do that, or at least be competent enough to be good in that game. But instead, I think a lot of people are just more content to say Tokido is in a class all his own, and we should put him on the pedestal.
Yeah.
And I'm just here to say, if it takes different amount of time, that's fine. Take as much time as you need. Just don't give up on it.
Nope. If I don't get immediate results, I automatically quit.
Yes,
and fundamentals are fundamentals. They're going to pretty much carry over into almost every game except for maybe Karate Champ. Although I would argue Karate Champ's probably the best place to learn fundamentals. But you just have to be patient with yourself. More patience is probably what would do this scene a lot of good, especially when it comes to relationships between different communities. I feel like there's a severe lack of patience between a lot of different game players. Everybody wants to be on top.
Yeah, well, it's not even just that. You get a lot of people who are more than willing to shit on games that they don't necessarily like without understanding how that can impact their smaller scene. And obviously, in a place like LA, that's not a huge issue because there are so many people out here who play games. You know, if you take a moment to just go, well, you know, fuck injustice, it's not really going to matter for you because you can go play Street Fighter 4 with the obviously other 50 plus people who show up to Wednesday night fights every week. That's totally fine. But I'm talking about in the smaller scenes where I'm talking about, you know, where you have 10 to 20 people tops. When you say something like that, you're basically disinviting people to your scene. You're like, well, fuck that game. And they're just like, well, that was the only game I really wanted to play. You know, maybe down the road they would have been interested in playing something else if you had reached your hand out to at least try their game with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's what this is about. Obviously, when you're in a bigger scene, you're on the coasts, you don't have to worry about this shit for the most part. Because even the smaller played games you can find. I mean, honestly, look, there are still people out here who play games that have been dead for years. There's a Vampire Savior scene out here. That's like what? Chicago and maybe New York are the other two scenes in America. But if you're talking about games in the Midwest or other parts of the country where, you know, they don't have a ton of people, you actually have to reach out and you have to try to understand, you know, why are these people trying to play these games? What do they want? And how can I help them have fun playing these games?
It's hard.
There's that word again.
It's hard to have, like, I don't think a lot of people have a lot of experience with, you know, how other people can have fun with their game, you know? Like, that's something where it's like, you almost have to be a little, like, you know, arrogant to say, like, oh, you're going to love this shit. You know?
You're gonna love my nuts.
Exactly.
I always felt like the best way to get more people to play any game that you like, or, you know, things, is play games that they like, you know? Like, maybe it's not your favorite, you know, it's not something that you want to take seriously, but, you know, you could try and just support other scenes and just help, you know? Be like, oh, yeah, you know, whatever, I dabble a little bit in this, you know? I mainly play this game, you know, get people interested. Get people to see you and be like, oh, this guy's pretty cool, you know? Let's play some of this game, you know? Maybe they like it, maybe they don't. That's you know, fine, whether they do or don't. But, you know, not having this whole, man, everything sucks mentality is not helping anything, you know? I mean, sure, there are games that are bad and games that you just don't want to play. That's fine, but, you know, you respect people because they play them and they enjoy it. So,
yeah.
You know.
It's not just that. There's also moments when you actually get into a new scene and all that scene cares about is their one game. And they tend to bash everything else and praise their game for being practically perfect.
Oh, man.
Which just turns
This sounds
Who does
familiar.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that turns a lot of people off to your game and your community in general. That's one thing you can always stay away from. I mean, like, we all dislike a lot of games out there. We've made it public what we don't like. And we have reasons for not liking it. We don't just go, oh, you know, such and such is a bad game. Why? Because it's bad. Just look at it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Sucks.
That's a good point.
Sucks. Thank you.
It's bad because it only gets 5 numbers at tournaments.
Your
Like,
game's
yo,
fat
man.
and its shit's whack.
Yo, you struggling to get 4K? We got the millions of points of damage, dog.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point because I always wanted to, like, sit down with a Marvel player and say, instead of talking about what sucks about the game, say what's good about Marvel. What are the good points of Marvel? Why would I like it? You know, as a person who doesn't play Marvel, and plays Gear, but let's pretend I didn't play Gear. Let's say I just play, like, you know, freaking Bomberman or something, right?
Yeah. Atomic Bomberman. on the
Atomic
PC.
Bomberman,
Dude,
you know.
I want to play competitive Bomberman now. God damn.
I'll fuck
I'm
you
in
up.
those BM money
Yeah, I was
matches all
gonna-
the time, man. Come get at me.
Come down here, Super Bomberman 2. I have the multi-tap, I have the system, we're gonna go.
Yeah, see, that's
So I
a
gotta
game you
bring
can
my
pull
own
somebody
controller.
into.
I got 2 I can bring.
No, we have controllers.
All right.
But pretend I play Bomberman, right? And I'm sitting down next to him, like, not Hanzo Gonzo, because he's never going to give me a straight answer, but, like, give me, like, I guess, Clockwork. And I would ask him, like, what is exactly the reason why I should play your game if I'm interested, but not if I'm on the fence about it, right? And I've never heard anybody get somebody up off the fence about Marvel. It's always like you're either playing it or you're not, you know?
Well, I
Yeah.
think there's something that's slightly fair, but at the same time, you have to look at it like Marvel and Street Fighter 4 are the games that everybody plays. As somebody who doesn't play either of them, I still understand that the people who are playing them aren't looking to convince more people to play them, because people already play them. It's like, I don't know if they're playing them just because other people do, but I don't think they need to go out of their way to convince people to play that game.
Right.
In any way, shape, or form. So I don't think a lot of those people are just like, well, let me type up this 3-page dissertation on why I think you should play Marvel 3. It's a good game.
I do that.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
But I think that would be useful. Like, and I think it would be fairly easy considering it's our most popular game. You can find some good points about it, right? But I've never heard anybody discuss exactly why Marvel works as a game. I've heard plenty of arguments for the opposite.
Don't Marvel
Yeah.
players actually just complain about their game too, like all the time?
That's what it seems like. And I'm not saying that they're a bunch of whiny bitches or anything like that. I'm just saying,
I like how you just like you try and cover up your bases, like, but like nobody ever thought you meant that in the first place.
But call this an unfair assessment if you will, but I'm saying Marvel players are no good at everything. That's what Chris was not trying to say.
I'm not trying to say that.
But
Yeah.
the chat does bring up a good point. If you talk to people like Clockwork, he can actually tell you why he likes Marvel 3. I've actually had a lot of conversations with him about the game, because I talked to him probably over a year ago about it, and I was like, this game fucking sucks. And he's like, no, he's like, it's actually pretty good. And we started discussing the things about X Factor and why he thought that as people got better, X Factor would mean less about the game, and as more people understood the different nuances of mix-ups and all these other things, and I can understand that. And to a certain extent, that has actually happened. As players get better, the things about Marvel that people consider quote-unquote random have been downplayed more often. You definitely see less random top 8s. More of the same people are winning. So to a certain extent, I can understand exactly what he likes about the game. And if you can't at least talk about what you like about the game you play, how can you convince other people that it's a good game?
Exactly. It's...
I still say that for Marvel 3, they should have just like brought back Mega Crash, or just straight up took away X Factor and just stole the burst mechanic entirely from Guilty Gear. Just like straight up the exact same thing.
Well, that's what a lot of people want.
I'm not even sure if knowing like how to describe what you like about a game even helps, because a lot of people just have like preconceived notions about what a game is like. Like
Yeah.
that happened to me after I started playing League of Legends. One of my friends was so convinced that it was just like StarCraft that he didn't want to play it for like 3 months. And I kept telling him it's not. No, it's really not. And he was like, nah, like you just don't think it is because you're used to playing it. But like I'm a noob, so it's gonna seem like that to me. And so I think a big part of like people deciding to whether to play games or not is just, it's not even based on what you say. It's based on what they've seen of it and just drawing conclusions basically. I know.
And how
So
can we get people to admit that they're genuinely ignorant?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's so hard about actually sitting down and playing a game?
I don't know. It's hard, man. Games are hard.
Oh, man. The Republicans are afraid you might like it.
Easy mode, please.
Yeah, it's like remember back in the day when games were just something we did because we genuinely had a good time, because there was good games and just things we did, and we go out and rent games and borrow games, hang out with people, play games, go to the arcade, play just random people, make friendships, make rivalries, and just keep going on. But like now it's just like, man, video games are such a chore, or I can't start myself to play games. And I mean, I think that has something to say with both the quality of games and at the same time the mentality that's behind gaming as it's becoming, I guess, mainstream
aging.
to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aging gaming population.
Yeah, because then they say the most, like, the average male
30.
gamer, like, is, 30s, around there.
30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know when I was a kid, I could sink like 16 hours a day during the summer into whatever game I felt like playing at the time. And
Yeah.
now it's like, oh my god, I spent 3 hours playing a game today. Like, what a worthless piece of crap I am. Like, when you have more stuff to do and you feel like you have obligations, games definitely sort of like fall off the priority ladder.
No, I definitely got that
Yeah.
problem now because like I sit there playing like 2 hours of S4 or something. I'm just like, wait a minute, I have a kid now.
Oh
I
yeah,
should be checking up on her.
shit that did
That's
happen.
true to an extent, but I also think there is so many people who have literally forgotten how to play fighting games for fun at this point. Because they play fighting games and they play them seriously and they play them competitively. So if you put something in front of them and you just like, all right, we're just playing random games for fun, they're just disinterested. When it's not about what you can win, they don't care anymore.
That's
And
true.
I feel like that's become a huge problem with competitive fighting game players.
And I would
But
say
that-
that actually keeps a lot of people out because then they're afraid of going into a casual situation and just running into a bunch of like power rankers, you know, who are just gonna be there to
Exactly what
like
happened to me.
build their muscles and shit.
Yeah,
Look.
when you start like your arcade and tournament experience at Super Arcade, it's horrifying because like I mean I used to play sometimes at a place in New England that had tournaments on Fridays, and it wasn't that bad. Like I would usually do pretty well. I wouldn't like place or anything, but I never felt like I was just getting like rolled over and smashed into the ground repeatedly. Like I went to Super and it was just like 0-2, 0-2, 0-2, 0-2. Like, it was just like getting flattened, and I was like, but it's just because there's so many people out here that are so good, and that's terrifying, especially in SoCal. It wasn't as bad anywhere else I've ever lived, just because it didn't have the same kind of scene. I think when your scene is specifically like the scene or one of like the scenes in the U.S., it's so hard to get more casual players in because they're just gonna get destroyed, like me.
And I think the issue becomes that I think I look at this in a couple ways. So the first problem with that is that your big experience out here has been in tournaments, right?
Yeah.
That immediately is a problem because the worst way to ever get new players into your scene is to invite them to play in tournaments.
Yeah.
Because new players are not going to do well.
But
It's
that's what I always did. It was just what I was used to.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
everywhere else I've ever lived has had tournaments, and that's how I've like gotten into it. Is like, oh, I'll just go try this out and do reasonably. But when you have like Clockwork and friggin' like online Tony in your bracket, it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah. When you play in a smaller scene, you'll probably have obviously smaller groups of people playing the game. Maybe they won't have as many developed, tendencies, tournament standard. I mean, there might be one or two guys who have gone above and beyond the Call of Duty and they're, really good national tournament players. But most of the guys are casual because they're just, again, pitching into that game to help keep the scene alive. When you're out in Southern California and you go enter a tournament, you better be serious because otherwise you're going to get super frustrated and quit.
Hmm.
And I think that's the biggest problem we have out here now is that so many games have no scene other than a tournament scene. We have Rebel Up once a month. Other than that, there is absolutely, positively no place to play Persona, Guilty Gear, Arcana Heart, Melty Blood, unless you know specific people. There isn't. It doesn't exist.
Dude, the only guy I knew moved to Japan. What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah. So when you have issues like that, the thing you need to build is you need to build a scene, and that isn't happening. We're building tournaments, and tournaments obviously are not building the scene.
To a lot of people, though, tournaments, like, that's a one-to-one thing, and that's probably a problem. People think, oh, tournaments equals scene. Like, I know that the fighting game community definitely seems like that.
It's a good way to display skill in the scene, I believe, but it, like you said, it's not necessarily the scene. It's not what makes it tick. At least it shouldn't be.
It's never been, though. That's the problem, is that because of the death of arcades, we've come to believe that tournaments represent the scene, when the scene used to be arcades.
Mm-hmm.
People created the scene because we had so many arcade, smaller scenes that fed into some national tournaments. But it didn't used to be like if you're not playing at this arcade in a tournament, then you're not part of the scene. That was just not true. So the problem now is yeah, exactly.
$5 a week.
Yeah. So
That's
now God damn it. So now if you can't make it every week, like Alex is saying, if you can't make it every week, if you can't go every week, or if you don't want to go every week because you haven't played a lot, you're not quote unquote supporting the scene. And that doesn't build a scene. That discourages people from coming because they just get their shit pushed in every week. Nobody wants to play that shit. I in fact have no desire to treat fighting games like a fucking job to play 8 people. It's not fun.
Here's my $10. Time to get my weekly ass blasting.
Yeah.
Hey,
Boy, I
welcome
can't
to my
wait to-
life like a year ago.
I can't wait to drive out here for an hour and pay $10 to go 0-2 and then don't get to play anymore for the rest of the night.
And then I gotta give him a mic with that Hell Pockets guy, and he's just gonna yell over me the entire time. Why am I even here?
Yeah, who wants to do that? Seriously. I can't think of anybody who literally just wants to go, well, I played 2 sets, I'm sorry. I lost $10, and I spent $40 on gas. Good night. That was fun.
Same
And there are
guys-
some people who definitely do that, who definitely do get better, but after like $1,000 of
But there will always be those people who have the drive to be better than everybody else, no matter what.
yeah.
Always. Those guys and gals will always want to be better no matter what it costs, no matter how much work they have to put in. They will always be there. They are not the rule, they are the exception.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the average player. The average player needs something to draw them into the scene. They need camaraderie. They need an actual community, and we're not doing a good job making one. Not in any way, shape, or form.
It's gotta be like golf.
Fuck you.
No, I mean seriously, man. It's like golf. You know, like there's a lot of people that fucking play golf, but they're not trying to go for the fucking Masters Cup. You know, they're just trying to unwind and have some cigars and chill with the guys and girls. It's not about
Well,
some of
you
them get
two
pretty mad.
can relax and unwind at $10 a week at these scheduled hours.
Yeah.
I just
mean,
think
for some of
that's
us,
missing.
It's not
now.
relaxing.
Yeah, exactly.
For some of us, it's like having some dude tell you that he likes your socks. Like,
Well, that's just another issue entirely.
Same. Totally know where that goes.
say,
Just guys
I like
coming
your
up and
socks,
being like,
Alex.
I really like your socks. I was like, thanks. I bought these in a pack that has 20 more just like them.
I will sell them to you for $2.
and that's the thing, is that
JC Penney.
Doing it right.
Is that even still their slogan?
I don't think it has
Probably
been for at least 15 years.
I don't watch TV anymore. Come on.
Next he's going to tell us about how service is state of the art.
I can do that.
Yeah. Well, one of the issues with people who attend the weeklies, mainly the people who don't get better, they've deluded themselves into thinking that they're supporting the scene by going to the weekly, and that's the only way to support the scene. And it's I've had this discussion with a lot of people.
Themselves. I think they have been told that is how they do it.
No, yeah, I think it's a mix of both because there are definitely people who've been around for years and they know better, but they actually think that's what they're doing. And I've talked to a lot of people at the run back who think going to the run back is supporting the entire FGC or these individual games. And yeah, to an extent it is supporting it, but there are other ways to support it, like you were saying earlier, Paul. I don't get why people think that.
Do your own stream.
Support Super Arcade.
Yeah.
Just for example, and you want to actually get better, it's called call up a few people, hit people up on Twitter, tell them, hey, look, I want to go out on, Monday night, Tuesday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, play casuals. I know some of you guys live over in that area. Let's go play. We can throw money in machines. We can give Watson some money to just play for a few hours. That not only supports them, but that helps your scene build. Don't go there just to play tournaments. Actually try to, and you know what you might find is when you play games with people and nothing's on the line, you might actually start to talk to people. You might actually build a community where the game, it's more than just playing games. You might actually enjoy hanging out with people. And to me, that's fun. Playing fighting games, not knowing anybody other than just guys I see at tournaments, that's not fun. What fun is going to tournaments just to play at a tournament? It's because it's like, okay, I went 1 and 2. Cool, I get to sit around for 2 days now.
Yeah.
I'm big. This is exciting. And by exciting I mean shit-tastic.
Think
Because
about
if
your
I didn't
loss.
have people with me in Vegas who I wanted to hang out with in Vegas, I would not go to EVO. There's no fucking point.
Yeah, it's damn true. I definitely wouldn't be at Evo if it was just like, get bodied and then watch other people do stuff. Thankfully, it's in Vegas.
I mean, I can understand if you're brand new, you want to go to EVO to be a part of that experience. I totally understand that. That's awesome. I wish more people would try to, make themselves part of the community. But I can also tell you that it has to be hard as hell being a new person in this scene and going to a tournament like EVO and not feeling damn out of place.
Mm-hmm.
I can say for the most part, I go to EVO because of the people I know there, and I can play games that I enjoy as well. Maybe they're not in the tournament, but for the most part, it's just the community. And if you don't have that, and if you're trying to get into it, it can be difficult.
I think that's something important too, is having people who aren't specifically enthusiastic about new people, and like excited to share the experience with them. Because I went to EVO my first time 2 years ago, and it was because me and all my roommates at the time really liked watching fighting game tournaments and playing fighting games with each other, and so we decided like our last hurrah after graduating college was going to be going to EVO together. And so we did that, and I was there actually alone for like 2 days because of the flights that my friends could get versus the flights I could get. And I would have had such a miserable time just like not knowing everyone. Like I was really excited. I watched a ton of matches every single day, but I was still sort of on my own and kind of scared and like not feeling like I fit in. But Chris Lee, one of the dudes who's been like major old school organizer and plays us ST and everything, he basically like saw me wandering around on my own with my cookies and was like, I'm gonna show you like how fun and cool EVO can really be. And like he brought me around to everything and like showed me all of the cool stuff and like, oh, look at this like little side tournament over here, this is really cool, and these are some really cool people. And he basically just like gave me a mini tour of EVO and made sure that even though I was really new and was like totally just like blasted by everything, that I was having a good time and that I felt comfortable. And that was such a huge thing for me. That's why I wanted to get more involved in the fighting game community, was because like he made EVO such a good experience for me just by making sure that he was welcoming and accepting and everything. And I feel like I feel like the fighting game community is, especially like with the like bigger players, is very like sort of encased within itself. Like because a lot of people are friends with each other. There's no reason to like walk up and introduce yourself to the new person showing up because you're with your friends, and so you're like, oh, I don't really need more friends. I don't know, that sounds weird, but it's sort of like that. And I feel like if he hadn't like walked up and introduced himself and showed me around, because I was obviously lost, like I probably wouldn't have tried to get more involved in the fighting game community at all. Like I feel like that's a really big thing, and I feel like just personally for me that was a big issue. And I feel like that's how, I don't know, as someone who's very new sees it. I just saw it as all sort of, I don't know, very segmented. Like it's hard to get into it when everyone is so old guard, it feels like.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
I probably wouldn't go to Evo or know nearly as many people if I hadn't known Gibby for such a long time. I mean, the first time I went out there, I went with a couple of my other friends that I knew before this. We all finally met together. And then, we hung out with Gibby a bit and some more. And because of that, now I know so many people, and I'm here where I am now, despite, not being anyone.
Yeah, my thing with Evo was I went all those years to compete, of course, but also to play the lesser-known games. Because before the BYOC was, it was massive. It was about, I want to say, more than a quarter of the ballroom. It was nearly half of the ballroom at the time, and you can find just about any game you want to play there. So it was really fun to go. Just even if you don't enter the tournaments, you can go to Evo. You can have fun, play games with people, talk shit, side bets, whatever the hell people want to do. And then up until recently, like 09 Street Fighter 4 boom hit, it was still decent. 2010 was okay, and then from there the BYOC just pretty much died. And a lot of people that I've talked to over the years that don't go to Evo anymore, they say they don't go because of that. Like the BYOC this year was a nice size, but if you looked around, it was mainly the same games. And there were a lot of people just playing the quote-unquote Main Street games instead of the lesser-known ones. Like, did any of you guys see any, any classic SNK games there? Like Paul, Alex, Walkman?
The only ones I saw were the ones you were playing.
Yeah.
And that wasn't in the BYOC area, by the way.
I saw a lot of Marvel.
No, it wasn't.
There was a lot of Marvel with the person that brought their own Astro Cities for CVS2. The two guys playing Third Strike that, I went to go bother after a while and suddenly turned into a couple of guys. There was one game that it didn't recognize, and that was maybe it.
Yeah, there was some like poverty game there, but I don't remember.
Yeah, there was like one game that was like legitimately poverty that a couple guys were playing, but other than that, BYOC meant the casual stations for Marvel 3 and Street Fighter 4.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's exactly
what it was.
Except for, hey, to be fair, ST had a pretty big section.
Yeah, but
Well,
ST also
actually
had
had
their
a
own fucking setup.
No, yeah, they brought all their shit.
That was just like the people that brought the CVS2 at like Astros. It was like, yo, we came here prepared. Like this isn't somebody's like gonna come in and swap out this PS3 disc of fucking Neo Geo Battle Coliseum and put in Street Fighter 4. This is a fucking arcade board. You're not messing with it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the
Yeah,
issues.
a lot of the BYOC is just MK, Marvel.
No. Well, one of the things this year was the BYOC area ended ended, however you want to put it, where Mortal Kombat ended, like where they were doing Mortal Kombat and Injustice. So when people there were done with their tournament, like when they lost, they would transition over to the BYOC area and start playing their games, which is fine. Like the BYOC area has always been for everything. Back in the day, you had people playing Marvel, Third Strike, Alpha 3, and so on. Thing is, it's much harder now to actually do anything in the BYOC that isn't one of the main. If it isn't an Evo game, it's really hard actually getting something done. People now just do stuff in their rooms.
Yeah.
And good luck communicating. Like, there were
That was that one night at Evo.
Yeah.
We went to your buddy's room, Gibby, and you guys were playing all sort of random games.
Yeah.
Just
Like
because it's like you can't get that out on the floor. Everybody just, and good luck finding people who want to play those games because navigating Shoryuken is fucking impossible now, and nobody uses it anyway.
Yeah,
so
everyone's
how are you
on
going to
social.
find these communities now? Because everything is on Facebook, which is a fucking travesty as well. And so what? We have
Especially with these
Twitter
closed
and
groups.
guessing.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about this. That thing that the show that sucks is working on. Getting your local community put on iPlayWinner to make it easier for everyone to communicate with each other and find each other. I don't know details about it, so I can't go into it. But there's a post somewhere on the IPW, so I'll try to find it and link it to people.
I think it's actually at the top right now on
Oh.
the Winner.
Yeah, that makes it perfect then. So just go to iPlayWinner.com and check it. Yeah, it's called Fighting Game Communities Assemble. Submit your FGC. So that's a pretty neat thing, because
No, and I think it's something that needs, like, it's funny that I'm going to say this, but it's something that needs to happen now because
oh yeah, it is.
people. There we go. Hanzo just linked it in the chat. People can't find one another anymore because of the death of arcades and because of basically the death of Shoryuken as a place for people to gather. SRK is still, it's still a huge site. People still go there every day, but I honestly, good luck finding a fucking local community to play in on it. Shit.
Yeah. Well, before, I want to say before 08, 07 maybe. It wasn't because of Street Fighter 4, but before that time, it was easy to find anything. People were in the strategy forums, people were in the regional forums, and then slowly general discussion took over everything. And especially now, like you look at GD compared to everything else. It's like Jesus. Like I go into I've actually tried multiple times to try to make like a community out here where I live. It worked well in the past. Like we had stuff here, and then everyone moved out or stopped playing. I tried again more recently in the past 2 years. I got nothing.
You just hate everybody now, though.
Well, yeah, that's beside the point, though. I tried making both Nocturnal and I went out and tried to find people. We told people where we are. We told people what we're doing. We'll play anything. And this is when we were both playing Street Fighter, KOF, whatever. We played whatever the hell there was, except me. I don't play many of the versus games. And nothing happened. We found out that Fnatic still lived up here, and there were a few other people, but they all stuck with each other for the most part. And then they started people started doing the run back, the run back started happening, and people started going there. It's like, oh, what? You live in Lancaster? Oh, that's cool. I live there too. I'm like, oh, we should get together. I know what up there plays. Yeah,
I just told you I want to play.
Yeah, we should start playing. 'Cause, I don't care right now. If there's a scene up here and people want me to go play, I don't care. Street Fighter 4 with them, I'll do it. I don't give a shit. I'm not a fan of the game, but I'm playing something with someone.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that a lot of the modern air dash scenes came out of the Capcom and Tekken scenes. I started as a Capcom player. I mean, who didn't at some point in time? If you came from the scene before 2000, what else were you playing? I mean, seriously. I started playing Street Fighter 2, and then it just so happened that I knew some guys in college who were like, oh man, you should look at this Guilty Gear X game. And I was like, well, I played the original Guilty Gear, I have a copy of it, but I never really bothered to mess with it. And then my arcade happened to get Double X. And I was like, oh, okay, well shit, they're playing it, I'll play it. And you just sort of moved over, because you already knew people who were playing the games that you played, because I met those guys playing CVS 2 in the arcade. That never would have happened if I had refused to play CVS 2.
Mm-hmm. There was just a ton of carryover.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it was before. Now everyone segregates himself to one game. It's like,
I
oh,
think
I'm a Marvel player.
Ugh.
I don't care what game they play. It's cool.
Mhm.
They play that one game. But then they refuse to go into anything else because just whatever reason. My favorite reason is, oh, it's nothing like Marvel 3. Like if it's coming from a Marvel player, or it's not like Street Fighter 4. I don't like hearing that crap. Like I know Street Fighter 4 players who refuse to play ST. Oh, there's no focus. Really?
Yeah,
That's
really?
what I've been told.
The hell?
I was like, this happened at Family Fun. I was pissed off. I was yelling at the guy in Family, and Knock got me to shut up. by pointing out that everyone's staring at me and like I might get thrown out. God damn it. That shit.
You're so stupid.
And then even at Super, like I told you this before, Paul. There was that one run back or Wednesday night fights that we went to. There was like about 100 people there. Both Knock and I were there. We entered, or it was the run back because we entered KOF. After we both got eliminated, we both put $10 a piece in the coin machine and got $20 worth of quarters and just sat there and played ST till our money ran out. And no one wanted to play with us. People watch this. They're looking, oh yeah, I love this game. This game's so old school. This game's OG. This game's legit. This game's awesome. All right, play us. I don't want to play this crap. Really?
Yeah,
you just...
it's...
You know what the biggest disappointment was? Was when you were kicking the shit out of me in the trash bag match, and there were so many people around just watching it happen, right? And nobody stepped in and did anything. And when it was over, everybody just walked away. There were so many people that were hyped for Garo action, you know. They were just like, "Ooh, this shit is sick. That's tight. I need to learn how to do that." And they just walk away when it's over. I'm like, guys, we got like 8 more hours of this. Come on.
Well, one of the issues is more people are people these days are more concerned with actual quote unquote hype than anything else. They'd rather be there for a moment that might be crazy or something stupid instead of actually playing.
You know
They just wanna
what's
say
hype?
there.
What's hype is some Samoan dude getting drunk out of his mind and yelling while people are playing Marvel 2 money matches.
Yes.
That used to be my
That is-
everyday.
Stop talking about me.
That has nothing to do with Marvel 2. That has to do with people just getting excited to watch a game.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it wasn't the game wasn't hype. It was the people around the game that made it hype.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what was hype at SCR? When we got that Potemkin-looking guy to arm wrestle everybody. Everybody wanted it on that one. That's what they need to do whenever you see a game going on that you look like you want to try your hand at. You should just go in and play. You should just go in at it. Nobody was scared of that big motherfucker that dude had like tiny ass legs.
What the real question is, what does losing actually cost you, especially if there's nothing on the line at the time?
Exactly.
Are you so insecure? Are you so full of pride that one loss will taint your entire being?
Tank.
Yes.
Seriously.
Also,
Go ahead.
Get
can we
over
stop
your
using the
damn
word
self.
hype?
No.
Every time I hear it, it's just like there's just some stabbing motion in my neck. I can't take it anymore.
Chris Seg has
Like
informed me
word
that we need to
voice.
use the words hype, free, YOLO, and salty at least 4 times per cast.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
YOLO, 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 YOLO.
Thank you. Oh, good. My laundry is done.
Welcome.
Yeah, the whole thing with losing. Okay, so one of the reasons people are more afraid of losing these days than they were in the past is because everything's recorded now. They don't want that loss being thrown up on YouTube, so people can see.
Nobody
Oh,
wants that.
Who was
I know.
that scrub?
I get
Oh
that.
my
I
god.
certainly don't fucking want it.
no, I don't
That's
want
why
it.
y'all
I know-
suck.
On YouTube, I think
If
all
it
my
happens,
videos are me
it
losing.
happens. No, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it happens, it happens. I don't like it, but who gives a shit? It's
Yeah.
there. Like, this is my thing. Every match I've played, if I lost it, like if I can remember losing it, that is, I fess up to it. I'm not gonna go, oh no, I beat that guy. Never beat me. That never happened this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if there's no proof of someone beating me, I'll still tell people he beat me because he did beat me. There's no point in trying to cover it up or lie about it. It's like, oh no, what Sanchez before? Nah, he never beat me in third strike. I used to whoop his ass every day. Is there footage? Nah, I don't know.
I think
my
left-
buddy recorded it on a
That's on
shaky
you.
cam.
Pixar didn't happen.
we got a handy cam that we sent to Kodak to have it transferred to DVD. We haven't heard back. You know how it
Yeah,
goes.
dude, it's crazy. I don't know what happened. The footage.
Yeah, and I
know,
get sick.
That's one of those things. It's like I never understood why people don't like watching themselves lose. I love it. I love having footage of me losing. I love having people being able to watch it because
What a
whenever somebody,
masochist.
yeah, no, when somebody, I would watch myself and figure out my mistakes. But then when somebody would be like, "You're not that good. Here's a video of you sucking," I was like, "Well, this is dated, at least 4 years ago. But if you really do think I suck, here's $50. It says I can prove otherwise."
Oh yeah, that's actually really fun to do. And people, so that's what I would do when I would play Knock. Like Knock would beat me in a lot of the early matches we put up in Mark of the Wolves games when he started getting better than me. He was beating me, and people say, "Oh, he's not that good." And I'm like, "All right, fine, money match me." Evo comes around, money match people, boom. I leave Evo with way more money than I came with because people are stupid. They see something like, oh, he lost. That means he's not good. Oh, what? Justin Wong lost Evo this year? That guy's not that good. He's washed up. Why don't you play him for money?
What a
Yeah, why don't
trash
you
bag.
just play him? Screw money. Just play him and beat him. Prove that he's washed up. Oh,
Shit.
no.
See,
Play him in the game of your choice.
Oh, no, that's the thing. Like, people give Justin all this shit. I guarantee you he will destroy 95% of the community. Just the fighting game scene in general and whatever the hell game they play.
Oh yeah.
See, the problem with that, though, is, like, we want people to be able to put up or shut up whenever there's something like that happens. And it's not that big of a deal. It's obviously bullshit. But at the same time, like, people should also be free to express their opinions like that.
No, totally. And that's the thing, is that there's a difference to me about the things you say when you're just like, oh man, he ain't good like that. I mean, but I suck too, so I can't, Like, there's a difference between being blindly arrogant and there's a difference between just talking shit to talk shit, I
Right.
think. Like, you're just like, oh, that dude ain't no good. And then your buddy's like, didn't he just beat the shit out of you? Yeah, I never said I was good.
And I think that's what the problem is. Like, a lot of people are just...
I like doing that.
They go in hard on, like, saying, oh, this guy sucks. And then they don't even play. That's the crazy part.
Dude, even just the last month in LA, we've had a couple people just get at Genesis for no fucking reason. Other than, I guess, they just got mad upset at the dude about something. I don't even know what the hell happened. People are just like talking shit on Facebook. People talking shit when they lose to him in casuals.
Wow.
It's like, why? Like, are you so fucking upset that somebody might consider him a good player or a resource for information that you're like, nah, man, that dude ain't shit?
No, it's not that. He's just better looking than me.
Man, he ain't shit. His hair ain't even that fabulous.
That's what I'm saying.
God, his hair's better than mine. It pisses me off.
Yeah, and that's what I miss. Like, everyone's made things too personal when they talk shit now. They just try to find something they don't like about someone and just rag on the person. Not his play, just his person. Yeah, exactly. You're fat.
Yeah, it's like whatever happened to making fun of this dude is like, yo, you trying to paint the fence? You ain't even making it to Home Depot to buy the paint. You suck. Now it's some shit where it's like, the psoriasis you inherited from your dad's really poor skin condition. It really makes you questionable about your self-esteem. It's like, look,
You're
man, I try to use Head and Shoulders, dude. I know,
Whoa.
just fucking lay off, man.
You stink! No, we should start a workshop on how to talk shit.
And that comes back to the whole fucking community thing. Like, this all does. Because when you have a community, you can talk shit on one another, and people just let it roll off. Or the people who you're actually close to, when you actually give them criticism, they can take it to heart and go, yeah, maybe I should have done that better. But when it's just a bunch of dudes yelling at each other on the internet, or muttering shit under their breath when they lose in casuals, okay, when you hear shit like that, people muttering that shit under their breath in casual, that doesn't make you want to come back. That's for damn sure. Especially if you're somebody who doesn't talk shit yourself. Why would you want to come back? You're like, wow, these guys are talking shit on me and I don't know them.
After losing.
Because
Why
we've
do I
gone
want-
over that. There's different people that take differently to that kind of shit. But for the most part, the negative reaction to it is going to outweigh the positive.
Oh yeah.
It's
if you're
meant
gonna have
to.
somebody that doesn't like fucking having this dude muttering under his breath, he's just like, I'm not gonna put up with this shit. I'm gonna go fucking play competitive fucking Call of Duty or some shit.
Yeah.
At
Go
least
find
they
something
will
else
yell
to
their
play.
obscenities at me.
Yeah, like then you have people like me that thrive on it who start clapping obnoxiously after every round. Just fucking. It's like, hey, you guys don't want me to win? I sure do. I'm the fucking shit. But the other people are just gonna be like, fuck this guy. I'm not gonna stick around.
Yeah. But it's like, if you actually engage people, or even just engage games as more than, hey, I need to win this tournament or else my life is fucking over, you might end up actually having fun with people you've never met
There's that
before.
word again.
I know, it's crazy, right? You might play games for fun once in your life. Because that's all we ever started doing this for. I don't know about anybody else who's watching or listening right now, but I sure as shit did not play fighting games because I thought I was going to make money. In fact, I was pretty sure I was going to lose a lot of money doing it.
Actually, that's a really good segue into an announcement I have to make, and this is pretty serious.
Oh my god, fuck you.
No, dude, it has to be done. Like I wanted to wait until later, but I think now is the time. Better, just okay. So As of right now, 7:36 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I, Alexander Dirty Sanchez, am retiring from Marvel 3. It's been a long time coming, and I know a lot of you
Say
are
it ain't
just...
so.
I know, guys, please let me just save your applause till the end. It's just been bugging me forever. Sorry, Hanzo, I didn't mean to disappoint you. I just can't keep up with the game. It's moving too fast of a pace for me. There's too many fireballs hitting me in the back of the head. My West can take it. There's only so many pairs of broken sunglasses I can keep replacing. It's not for me. It's not for me. And you can read all about it in a tell-all expose that's going to be posted on Event Hubs, where I
Oh my god.
have an interview over a Skype chat with
4-hour interview.
Yeah, 4-hour interview. Where,
a 4-hour interview that's going to be
Actually-
blocked by a little Akuma picture.
Actually, that thing, I have a real segue about people not expecting to make money. I think that's a big thing too, is the whole like sponsored player thing is getting like kind of rock star-ish. Where like, I mean, it's worse in esports, obviously, but there's definitely sort of an aspect of travel, hot chicks playing video games for money, and like that's way more of a thing now than obviously it was when all of you started playing. And so there are people who are coming in like, my goal is to become a sponsored player, and
It's not that great.
Yeah.
well, yeah, obviously, but I mean, people are gonna see what they want to see.
Unless it's
I'm
Arcade
still-
Shock, then it's awesome.
I'm still cracking up about the fact that this fucking announcement is like tentative. It's like it's just not an official
First of
retirement.
all, all right, I don't mean to interrupt you, but like I've been in Daddy Daycare Vortex for the last 2 weeks. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, okay. So you might not be up to date. So if you manage to get past the ad block on Event Hubs, there's an article right now about K-Brad retiring, but it's an article about a Twitter statement that's vaguely worded from Empire Arcadia saying he may or may not retire pending a further decision. And I just think this is the most ridiculous shit on earth. Like,
What
if you
the
want to leave,
fuck?
the door's right there. Just there's no need to fucking ring a bell on the way out. You're not at Chili's, dude. We don't want to know if we fucking had good service. So this shit is just funny to me. Like,
Yeah.
think of all the people that have
Professional athletes
disappeared.
Retire.
Think about all the
You
people
quit.
that are fucking disappeared. Not necessarily retired, not necessarily quit, just disappeared for one reason or another from fighting games. Prominent motherfuckers. Dogface, who had the
God damn
best fucking show, fighting game related or otherwise. Where is he? Nobody fucking knows.
No.
He bowed out gracefully. There is not some fucking argument going on fucking Event Hubs in the comment section about whether or not this is some fucking like crazy scheme for, Empire Arcadia to bring attention to themselves because K-Brad's leaving, and it's like, who gives a shit? Why is this news?
Yo, dude.
What?
Cal Ripken Jr. retired from baseball. Joe Schmo, he bowed out. The dude who played second base on your team back in the 80s, who nobody knows anymore, yeah, nobody gave a shit when he retired. Ain't nobody made an announcement for him. He bowed out. Look, when Justin quits, maybe people will say he retired. Maybe. That's it. Get over your fucking selves.
I swear to
You're
God. this
quitting
shit's
fighting
ridiculous.
games. This ain't your goddamn job. Stop that shit.
Oh my
Like,
God.
the funny thing is like when people say retirement, I'm like, oh, so you're getting some sort of pension from this now? Is that what's going on? Like, did you fucking earn so much winnings that you banked away in a 401k that you're cashing out? It's like,
Oh man, they're
I
getting the
fucking had a
Rolex.
winning ass fucking season, dude. I won every major, back to back. I put everything in a nice 401k, fucking diversified my bonds. I got these sick yields. I'm just gonna fucking rest on my laurels for the rest of my life. Just gonna fucking sit back and relax in the fucking beaches of Florida and just sipping these martinis because I earned it. I fucking earned it. Playing fighting games. You can do it too. Just
Yo,
watch
sick
fighting
yields.
This shit is bananas.
Yeah, dude. You're gonna get that gold watch, your gold watch, man.
Yeah, just one day, just fucking. That's why I started playing fighting games. I made a conscious decision in 1993 that one day I'm gonna join EMP, and I'm gonna reach the ripe old age of 65. And
When you're still gonna be
After-
funding the arc?
yeah,
Okay.
and after beating Nika KO in a Third Strike tournament in some fucking back alley arcade in fucking New York, Empire fucking Arcadia manager and CEO Triforce himself comes up and hands me a fucking golden Triforce watch, and tells me that I can fucking.
And then he told
Go
you,
out the pasture.
finish him.
Yeah, he just comes up to me and just gives me the old finish him. This is over.
What does that even look like when you retire from playing video games, man? It's like, oh, like I can understand if you injured your hands doing fucking loops or some shit, right? Well, how do you fucking if you're perfectly fine and I assume you enjoyed playing them to some extent, how do you stop? What does that even look like?
I don't know.
It's
you
like,
just quit. I guess
it's one of those things where it's just like, so what did you used to do for fun? I don't have fun anymore, dude. I'm retired.
Yeah, exactly. I don't breathe anymore.
No, I'm retired from breathing.
I got this tube for that.
Yeah.
God.
And that's the thing, is that this is the issue here. I don't hate people for wanting to play fighting games to make money. I hate that even the guys who know they're not going to make money, the guys and gals out there who know that they're not tournament winners, that they take the damn shit way too seriously. What's wrong with having fun? Where did it go? Why is it gone?
I'm not getting
Can
paid
we bring
enough to
it
have
back,
fun.
please?
The pot's not big enough for me to have fun at this tournament.
Games stop being fun.
So
It's only fun if I collude.
that word just keeps coming up.
Oh, you mean
Fun.
collusion?
No, just shut up.
Shut the fuck up, Chris.
It's not fun unless I'm colluding.
Oh my god, you.
You're out. I'm throwing Chris
Oh
off the
my
show.
god, don't.
So this weekend, I stopped by Poverty Fest to drop off Josh and hang out there myself, and I had to leave early because of fucking handling business on Sunday morning. But I did get to play a bunch of fucking crappy old games, and somebody broke out Tekken 4, and I was just like rubbing my hands together menacingly, like, ooh, baby. I've been waiting for this. Like, if somebody had broken out Caliber 2, I'd probably still be there. Because when do I get the chance to fucking just torture people with, fucking Steve and Jin and, like, really stupid King bullshit, like hiding behind pillars in the mall stage and then giant swinging them into it? Or doing that really stupid shit in Tekken 4 where you can move before the round started so you would run at them so you got the start of the round tackle?
Can we not?
That shit was so sick. You know what that actually was? As stupid and as terrible as that game was, I was actually having fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were just fucking around the entire time. I was torturing Nerd Josh for using fucking 4 Jin and losing. Who does that?
The last time I was on UCLA campus, I went to Coins, the sadly not upkept small arcade they have, and I was playing Tekken 5 DR by myself. Why? Because it was fun. The game is fun. I mean, I don't care. I just had a good time with it.
I was at the SF State arcade once and I played Puzzle Fighter by myself. That wasn't very fun.
Yeah, I can imagine Puzzle Fighter by yourself is not too fun.
Nah, it's actually pretty sad and lonely.
So very sad.
This is my fucking life now, guys. Fuck.
Oh, you chose it.
Yep.
You went from the lifestyle of pooping on your own walls to playing.
Now I've got a
Fighter by
daughter for
yourself.
that, man. Fuck that. Got to clean up my act. Teach her how to poop in the toilet.
Gotta clean up your walls,
I'm
man.
gonna tell her about that.
Nobody. She can never know.
Oh, she'll
Well,
know.
but it's a good thing we only recorded at least,
Yeah.
an entire season
Every
of shows
fucking
where we
episode.
mentioned it.
Yeah, I was about to. It's a good thing we only have 233 of these. She'll never know.
This is like,
Yeah.
Hell Pockets, this is your life.
That was
We're
a
gonna have
documentary
the,
that was filmed
SDR
in real
roast of
time.
Hell Pockets.
Really was.
Mm.
But that's it. I mean, that's been the whole show. Fun. Go
Yes.
have fun. Try to actually have people have fun with you. I understand that fighting games can be serious. I understand that competitive fighting games are basically a job. And that is hard, and that does require a lot of commitment and a lot of work. And I understand that sometimes when you're focusing on that, you don't necessarily care about what everybody else is doing. But the more players you have around you to play against, the better chance you will have to win. And some of those people, they're just playing because they want to have fun. Let them have that fun. Like, give them that opportunity.
At least. I think we've got a good opportunity to get a bunch of people together to have fun because this year's EVO, we're all going to be fucking stranded in the same hotel.
Oh yeah.
We're going to have to talk to each other then.
Uh-oh.
About all that.
Human interaction. I did not
Mhm.
sign up for this.
You can pay $40 to get onto the main strip, but it's a lot cheaper just to talk to that guy that's picking his nose while touching the sticks, So
Oh, that's why I actually liked when they had it at Green Valley Ranch and then at the Rio. It was far. Far from most people. They didn't want to leave.
So you're
Yeah,
gonna have to
the Rio was a
start,
nice
start up a
location.
conversation with the booger guy, just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's just mashing combos in Street Fighter 4. You go up to him, it's like, so how are those boogers? Are they crispy? Like, how's that going for you?
They right.
You picking a winner right
Delicious.
Yeah. Like, what are we talking about taste here? Like consistency? They salty? Are they
Hey,
salty?
let's be honest. That could be the most interesting person you ever meet in your life. You could write like novels about this dude,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, like he just starts bringing up really philosophical shit when he starts playing. It's like, well, I pick my nose because I smell my boogers because I'm wondering whether my boogers smell like nose or my nose smells like boogers.
Helps take
Deep
the edge
thoughts.
off when I'm thinking about losing this match.
Yeah, it really takes the edge off. Just fucking gets me in my zone. It's my
Huffing
zen.
my boogers, man. Huffing
Yeah.
boogers.
Excellent. We'll just talk to that guy, and you'll run into King Juggalo because he's not going to be on the strip.
Oh, King Juggalo is probably just gonna be like hanging out somewhere drunk anyway. He doesn't talk to people unless
He
you're
does.
cool.
He does all his talking through playing.
Yeah, if he does play, usually he's just drinking, or he might be on the tables gambling because his wife got expensive taste and it never
Yeah.
gets fed right.
Yeah, King Juggalo lets his combos do the talking.
Yeah,
And the one good thing about King Juggalo is he's pretty much always a sure bet. I've never seen him lose a money match. Which,
Dude, how can you?
that
How
guy
can
has
King?
like the winningest record.
I mean, if you're literally the only guy in America that's getting flown out to Hong Kong to play people in '97, I think that just speaks for itself.
Yeah, dude, that guy's definitely earned it. Like when we talk about winning as players, and everyone mentions Wong, and then they start equating Chris's run, and then it's so aggravating to me that nobody knows about King Juggalo.
Exactly, and you can't even talk shit about it. Like, if he was prominent today, he'd be the perfect example of the person you just can't shit talk. You can't shit talk his play, and you damn sure can't shit talk him like personally because the dude married a fucking stripper. What have you done with your life?
that's actually true. Damn it.
Alright, y'all
Not much.
stupid. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think that's
but yeah, I was gonna say this is getting a little out of hand. But yeah, I think that that's it. You know?
Tony, any things we forgot?
it. Oh, I do have something.
I just wanted to say. Oh, well, you go ahead, Chris.
Let's see. Hold on a sec. I just wanted to say that River City Ransom Underground apparently hit its mark this weekend, so it is funded.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So.
It's gonna have a Bobo from
Yep.
the original
So
Double
if
Dragon.
any of you
in
want
it.
the game, it's gonna come out.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, they're adding a Bobo.
They are adding a Bobo, yeah, and like I
So-
got sprites for him on this thing too. Oh, there he is, punching the wall.
Yeah, it's got 38 hours left. So if you want to get a copy of the game early or do anything else to help them out, go ahead and send your money and your regards, and
Congrats to those
looks
guys.
like
Yeah.
it'll probably
Very
be a
cool.
promising game. Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, there was something I needed to bring up, and this is actually genuinely important. A lot of you know about our intern and fact checker here on the show, but Doofus, or Weed Lord Boner Hitler. He has been MIA for at least 2 weeks. I am genuinely worried. If anyone knows anything about him, please let us know that he's all right. Also, in the meantime, there is a position open for our fact checker intern. This is a non-paid position, but it will give you plenty of work experience. And learning to clean up after Hell Pockets can be used to work at an elderly center or at a kid's daycare. So,
And we'll think
keep that
you're
in mind.
really cool.
yeah.
So send your resumes to who wants to handle these.
Send them to Tony.
Yeah, send them to Tony. He ain't doing nothing.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
But no, yeah, I think that about sums it up.
Mhm.
Anybody else got anything?
Uh,
I don't know. Chewie keeps crying.
All right, well I'll take that as a no.
I think we're
So
done.
for everybody here at Super Desperation Radio, I'm Super FX. Good night, good luck, and go have some fun with fighting games for once.